So probably I'll share the recording. Okay, so in the demo class, we have seen what is Snowflake and how to provision the Snowflake and how to get a login into the Snowflake. We have seen that, right? So if you are new to that, please refer the old recording and you will understand how to log in into the Snowflake. So once you logged in into the Snowflake, you will be seeing this URL. So Snowflake is not I mean, you no need any, just I'm recalling the old class one more time. So you will not looking for any exe file. No setup is needed. All you need is you simply launch a URL. Once you launch a URL, this is a URL you will be launched. So and also URL will be looking like this. Okay. This kind of URL you will be getting to your mailbox. You need to launch it. Once you launch it, this is your tool. So you will be working on the website only. You will be working completely on the internet. Okay. So you will not be having any separate kind of the setup to be run. No separate software like Oracle or SQL Server is needed. It's a completely cloud-based application. Okay. So this is your URL. So just to recall the one more point, this is your account ID. Snowflake account ID. This account ID is active for 30 days. Okay, it's a free account. If it's a paid account, you will pay continuously. We are working mostly on the free accounts. This is your free trial. See here he is saying enjoy our free trial. Okay, it would be this account will be active for 1 month. After 1 month, again you need to create a one more account. So you can use the same email ID for that. So this is your cloud region, AP South 1. Okay, and this is your cloud AWS, and this is a Snowflake computing flavor. Okay, so this will tell you where are you working and which cloud it is working. And one more prerequisite is you should have a backend cloud. So either you will work on AWS cloud, or you will be working with the Azure cloud, or you will be working with the Google Cloud platform. So any one of the cloud is mandatory. Okay. So this is about a login URL. And here you will get these symbols. So if you see, very easy symbol. Okay, so no main menu, no submenus like that. You'll have a database symbol. It will tell you what are the various databases in the system. So for when you are joining in a company, you will see a lot of databases. You should know which database you will be accessing. So, and you will have shares, worksheets, all these things are there. Okay. As a part of today's class, what do we do? Okay. We do this program. So first step is, let us create a database. Okay. Under the database, let us create a schema. Under the schema, let us create a table. You can have set of tables like table 1, table 2. You will have a lot of stuff will be in the schema. You will have views. Okay. You will have a materialized lot of things. And as a next step, let us load one table. That our table name is a customer table. So this is a customer table in the Snowflake database. So you have a file here. So you will have a customer file. Let's use Snowflake to load this customer file is in my C drive or D drive, in my local drive. Today's class, it would be local drive, or it could be in a cloud also, or it could be in an internal stage. Don't worry about the terminology, you will be habituated. So these are the various places where you will have a file. And let's load it into the customer table. So we use Snowflake. Again, this database is also a Snowflake actually. So what are the steps? So as a first step, so create a database. Second step, so create a schema. if you are already from database background, it's old stuff only, but the tool is different. So how do we achieve in the Snowflake is a interesting thing. So create a table, create a customer table. So fourth step would be load the table, load customer table from, so customer.csv file from local system, file from local drive. So as a part of fourth step, you need to do two steps. First step is create a warehouse and create a file format. Create a file format. So these are all one-time activities, guys. So create a file format and load. So these are the two steps you need to do. So already we discussed there how to create a database and schema, but for the sake of new students, let me recall how to create it. I hope requirement is clear for you. Okay, you will be having, you will be doing this activity using the Snowflake. Okay, so how do you, everything, let's use, how do you do this activity? This is your code, right? So client has given this requirement to you, it will give a file to you. Okay, and you need to load it into the Snowflake DB. So to satisfy this requirement, he has given a file to you, he has given the Snowflake access to you, and it's your responsibility to create a DB. How many ways you can do, right? You can do through the queries, you can write a queries, or you can use a web UI, directly you can use a web application, or you can use a command prompt also. Command prompt is like this. You know this command prompt, right? So here also you can do these activities. So as a first class, let me mix a queries and web application. Okay. First step, let's create a database. How do you create a database? So you have this database here, right? You can go to here, this database symbol, and you can use create. So database is, say for example, sales. Assume that my database name is a sales database. Sale is a sales R, sales T. So test database for sales. Okay, finish. It's already existed. So sales test 1 is the database. So finish. Okay, can you see here? You are going to the databases, and this is a one way. And one more way would be create or replace database. Okay, sales T3, for example. This is a database name. Okay, so this is how you can do. So query also you can do. Are you want to drop the database? So drop database sales T. Okay, so what is the one I am using? I am using this sales T1 I am using now. Okay, so what do you need to do, right? So go and see the DB. Click on the DB. Once you create a DB, you will get all these objects. So in the DB, you have schemas, right? Same like schemas, you will have views. Okay, already views are there. These are inside the database only. So you will have a stages. Under this DB, you will have some other objects. Stages are there. Okay. You can see file format, sequences, and pipes. We will leverage one by one. Our class is to understand the every concept. And also, you will have a once default DB for your account. I have already working with this URL from multiple times, right? So I have multiple DBs. When you log in first time, you will get a one more DB called as a Snowflake sample data. So this data is this is a separate DB provided by the Snowflake company for the testing data. You will have a lot of data here. You see, so supplier data, region data, lot of data will be there. Okay, just some points regarding the database. So you will create your DB, okay, and you will have one background DB also given by the Snowflake. Remember, this tool is offering you a lot of things. Okay, you will do your own work, and also you can use a objects are some features given by the Snowflake also. Everywhere you see that you can create your own DB. All these are my DBs, and I have a Snowflake given DB called Snowflake and Snowflake sample data. Okay, so you can see the comment here provided by the Snowflake during the account provisioning. Okay, this is a Snowflake sample, right? So first step is completed. Okay, next we need to create a schema. How do you create a schema? Let's go to the DBs. sales st1 is our db, right? So you can go to the schema. Here also you can create. Remember again, when you are in the same schema, two schemas given by the Snowflake: information schema, public. You can use, okay, you can use these schemas, okay, or you can create your own schema. But we are actually buying Snowflake for our business, right? So we can create our own schema. Create schema name is schema sales t1, or else I'll give like, so schema sales t1. Okay, it is saying that this is a schema under this db. Just I am following that. Okay, schema sales schema. Okay, so you can see, you can also write a query as well. So create or replace schema. Okay, so under this, it's under this db dot test. This is a different schema I'm creating. So test does not create or replace schema name. So which I'm using. So I'll see guys, there is a right side option, right? Here you can select your databases. So what is our database? Sales st1, right? Okay, if you select here, so it will be your context. Sales, yes. Okay, what's our db, guys? Our db is sales t1, right? Okay. This is your db. So under this db, I'm creating the schema. See, two schemas I created. One is through the web UI, that is sales st1, and another is a test one. Okay, I don't want to use test. Just I am giving you to write a query. So to understand the query, let me drop it. You can drop from here also. So this is the one. So what is my potential schema? Here you can see this is your DB. This is your schema. This is there, right? This part is called as a context. Okay. So you have selected account admin. This is nothing but a role. So, and this is a database and this is a schema. Now you are in this DB and you are in this schema. Whatever you create, right, or whatever you write here, that will be fall under this database and this schema. What's the next step? We created a database. We created a schema. So let's create a table. So let's create a table. So the table query I have already with me. So let me go through the sales. Okay. Don't worry, I'll pass all these things to you. Okay. This is the table I am creating. Where I am creating under this DB. Okay. What is my schema name? SH sales T1. Schema underscore sales T1. Okay. So it is always, so you are in this DB in this schema, but what is the best practice, right? By the time when you are creating a table, okay, always good practice to use the database name and schema name. So database name dot schema name dot table name. So and this is a table. So these are the columns in my table. So customer number is integer and it is not null. So customer first name, it's a string. So last name, it's a string. zip is a integer. Okay. See, these are the data types. I believe many of you are aware. So the customer numbers are numbers, right? That's why integer I have taken. Names are usually the strings, characters, right? That's why I'm taking it. In the Snowflake, string is a data type. So last name also string is a data type. zip is again, zip is a number, right? So that's the reason I'm doing it. Okay.
So can't we use character or varchar?
Yeah, you can use. You have a very rich in Snowflake is very rich in data types.
Okay.
Go to
why are we using replace every time? I mean, while creating the.
This is the practice I am following. It is not mandatory. You can create a table also. Say usually this table task is one-time activity, right? Throughout the program, throughout the project, you will not recreate tables and again and again. Correct. So you will create table only once. Yeah. But usually, so when you are creating second time means definitely there is a change in the number of columns or there is a change in the data type. And you are not willing to hold the old table, right? So by keeping that perception in mind, it's always good to use create or replace. Okay, replace old and create a new because you are coming with new table. Your intention is there are some changes in the existing table if already available. Correct. Yeah. So
Got it. Got it.
Document, you can go to the help. In the help, you can get this document. So data types.
Hello?
You
Hello,
can
sir.
see which, yeah, yes, please. I
Yeah,
can hear.
sir, what is schema?
Schema is the definition of a schema is it's a first class organization object in the Snowflake. Okay, so you will have, say, you have a set of businesses. I can elaborate with the business. Say you are running a business.
Okay.
For your own business, say you are having a loans is a separate business and a retail is a separate business. Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you will create one DB called as a ABC bank. Under this DB, you will have a different businesses, right? So you can classify the businesses and its tables in a separate place. That is called as a schema. So in Snowflake, it is called as a first class object. So that will help you to organize a business in a separate, organize the business separately. So its definition is same like any other database also. If you are already from Oracle and SQL Server, schema is a classification of a business. So classification of set of objects, they are interrelated. So you will have one schema for loans, you will have a customer account, all are there. All tables are there. So you will have a one more schema for retail business, you will have a retail data, credit card data in that schema. Yeah, it's a way of segregating the business, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So, and going back to databases, you will have all these databases, string databases, you will have, so varchar, char, character, string, text, it's up to you. Okay, so yeah, so I'm creating the table. You can see the table in the databases. See the databases. Under this databases, you will have a table. Okay, see this table is fall under the schema and what time it got created. Who is the owner? See, this guy is the owner, guys. Always. I'll tell the owner's roles. Okay, so account admin is a role. You have a set of owners like this. Account admin, organization admin. I'll cover all the owners. For time being, just understand that the customer is owner of the customer is account admin. He has full rights on this table. Okay, so he can pass this table to different people or he can drop a table. It's up to you. So the table is also ready. It's done. It's done. Next table is you need to load the file. So what file you want to load? See, this is a file. I have a file in my local. Okay, this is my file. So customer file, customer number, first name, last name, zip. In fact, I have taken the columns from the file only. You may ask a question. How did you take only four columns? Why are you taking only 4 columns? Why not many columns? Because this table is used for holding the customer data. The data is from the file actually. So we have no data given. So somebody is giving, remember, you need to think beyond the box. What's your role in a company? Your role is to load the table. That's it. You are acting like a mediator. So somebody will give a file to you. That is a source team. Okay. Say from morning to evening, lot of customers are coming to the market. So one guy collect all the customers and keep it in a file. End of the day, he give a file to you. Now you need to put it into the Snowflake. That's your responsibility. You are acting like a mediator. So you take a data from somebody and you load it and put it to the Snowflake. So this file is given by the source team, usually the data provider team. So, and this table is meant for this file only. That's why I've taken the same columns: customer number, first name, last name, and zip. So only 4 columns table I have taken. So I need to load these three records today. So usually in our warehousing projects, okay, when you join a company, you need to load these kind of files daily. So today you will load 3 records, tomorrow you will load 10 records. You need to load daily. So, but as part of today, I got only 3 records. So, and now see the point here. What is a catch here? This file is outside the Snowflake, right? Am I right? This file is outside the Snowflake. Snowflake needs to understand this file. That is the first step. You need to educate, right? Snowflake is a tool and you have a file in one hand. You need to educate the Snowflake about the file. How do you educate? That is by using the file format. Okay. You need to create a file format. So then Snowflake will understand your file during the load time. So what is the file format? What do you really need to educate the Snowflake? Means you need to tell about a file. If you see the file, just observe the file, very easy. So if you observe the file, what do you find? You find the first record is a header, correct? So it has 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. That is fine. The first record is a header, and second record is a data. Second record to last record is a data. So first record is header. Remaining records are data. Okay, so next it's a comma separated, right? And no enclosures. Enclosures means, so like this, you will see double quotes is an enclosure. My data is closed between the double quotes. So I have no such enclosures here. I'll show you one more file. Say, let me show this file. This is a one more file. See, see, if you see this file, this is a mix of enclosures and no closures. So this data is enclosed, and this is not enclosed, and this is not enclosed. You will have different file formats in your business because the people may generate the files in different formats. Okay, so no enclosures, and each line is separated by the new line. These are the few observations of the file. So all these observations you have to tell to the Snowflake. So this is a CSV file. Okay, and first line is a header, and second remaining lines are the data. It is a comma separated data, no enclosures. How do you educate? By using the file format. Go to file formats in the DBs. So create a file format. So what is my name? My file format name is comma separate. This is my file format. Remember, as I told you, schema is a first class object, right? As per the design of the Snowflake, there is a mandatory step. Every file format should be associated with the schema, because schema is speaking about a separate business. In the separate business, we got a comma separated file. That's why schema name is mandatory. Either you can use a public schema, that's a default schema given by Snowflake, but this is a schema we are working for our business, right? That's why I've selected our schema. What is a file format? First step, CSV format, right? Snowflake supports .csv file, .json file, .xml file, Avro file, Parquet file, or we discuss all the files one by one daily. So this file is a CSV. Do you have any compression? Means, so are you getting a file with zipped format? That is a compression. So as of now, our files are not zip files, so normal files only. Just use a auto compression. Okay. What is a separator? Comma separator. Already we have seen that, right? So what is a row separator? New line. Correct. Every row is separated by the new line. Okay. So how many headers to skip? Usually, these columns are already part of the table header. We don't want this header as a data in our table. So we will skip it actually. So to do that, you will use 1. When you use header lines to skip, it will skip a first line, and it will take a second line onwards as a data that will be loaded into the table. Say there are some files like this. When you see 1, 2, 3, 4th line, till 4th line, you are not using the data, so it's not data. So you can use 4 here. It's all, this is completely depend on the file. Okay, so what kind of the file it is. Okay, so header lines to skip is 1. Why I'm mentioning 1? 1 is nothing but I don't want header, I need data. That's why I skipped a 1 line. So do you have any enclosures? As I told you, double quotes, single quotes, right? As of now, no enclosure. If you have any enclosure, so that would be double quote or single quote, you can choose. Okay, so null string is / and don't worry about all other things. What I'm saying, I'm creating one file format in Snowflake. Okay, that file format is used for CSV files, no compression. So comma separated file, any file, each line is separated by a new line, and the header lines will be skipped. If you get any files with these properties, this file format will be useful. So just finish. Okay, this is a file format creation. Okay, this is one more step you have to do. Now the file format is created, means you are educating a Snowflake to read that kind of the files. What is the next step? You need to create a warehouse. What is a warehouse, guys? You know, once you open architecture, again, let me go back to architecture. Okay, if you are new to the architecture, please refer the old recording, guys. So in the architecture, you will have three components: services, storage, and process. You know, your process is in your hand. That's what a Snowflake is saying. Okay, you no need to close your eyes while you are running. Okay, you should know your process, or your process is in your hand. Other databases like Oracle or SQL Server, who is running the query and who is a background process, you will not see. But in Snowflake, you see your process. Means you know how fast you need to run the query. Okay, so listen my statement. You know how fast you run the query. You know how fast how slow you run the query. It means like, so you are driving a car. You know how fast you will run the car, and you know how fast how slow you run the car, and you know how many people you need to fit in your car. So your storage and your processing both are in your hand. That process is nothing but that processing is nothing but your warehouse. You need to create a warehouse. So to create a warehouse, go to warehouse option. Here you see the warehouses and create it. Here you create a one warehouse. Warehouse is for virtual warehouse, you call for sales T1. I am creating one warehouse for this DB, but it's not mandatory to be created DB. Just for naming purpose, I created it. You know, a warehouse says how fast you run your process. It could be a query run, or it could be another, whatever it is. How fast you need to do your activities, a process warehouse. Okay, so depend upon the need, you will have a sizes. If you choose a large size, it would be faster. If you choose a small size, it would be slower. Okay, see, and that's why these warehouses are called as a t-shirt sized warehouses. Okay, if you choose a small t-shirt, it will fit for small boy. If you choose a big t-shirt, it will fit for big boy. Same like this. So the sizes are varies from X small to the 5X large. It's all up to you guys. So how fast you wanted to run your data, or how fast you wanted to do your processing, you choose the size. Okay, say I'm working with 100 GB file. This file is only three records, right? Say you know that your file is 100 GB, then you choose a big warehouse. Okay, your file is very small, 1 or 2 records, you choose X small. And one more point to be noted here is, at any point of time, you can switch your warehouse. You create a one small, and you create one large, and you create one 2X large. Okay, if you during the runtime you wanted to switch the warehouse, you can switch. That is also one more option. I'll explain. So at this time, focus on size of your warehouse. My size of the warehouse is a small. Why? My data is only 3 records this time. Tomorrow, if my data is more, again I will change my warehouse. That flexibility is there. Minimum clusters, maximum clusters, don't worry. And scaling policy also don't worry. I'll explain one by one. Auto suspend is 10 minutes. Means in Snowflake, you created a warehouse. Once you create, the warehouse will not be active. So it would be active, sorry. So say you created a warehouse at 8:34 and you are not using warehouse for 1 hour. What Snowflake will do, right? So based upon this suspension time, it will suspend it. So Snowflake will wait for 10 minutes if your suspension time is 10 minutes. So after the warehouse is active, Snowflake will wait for 10 minutes. So within a 10 minutes, if you are not using, it will go to suspended mode. Okay, so that is auto suspension time. It is also your time. It's up to you whether you use 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour. It's also up to you. And auto resume means once warehouse is going to the suspension mode, again you wanted to use it, then automatically Snowflake will up the warehouse. So a simple concept. So auto suspend 10 minutes means if you are not using warehouse continuously, so after 10 minutes, it will go to the sleeping mode. When you want to use it, again, it will come back to the active mode because I have selected the auto resume. Just finish. Okay, so what I did so far, I created all the objects, database, schema, table, and I also created a file format because I am working with files. And I have also created my process as well. Next step is to load it. So how do you load? Go to databases, select your tables. So in the DB tables option, customer is a table. Okay, here you can see your customer table. So there is a browse button. So load options, right? So click on load. Let me close this. Okay. in the Snowflake. So load table, everything I am going through the web UI, guys. Same activity you can do through the queries also. I'll explain them. First, to make you comfortable on the tool, I'm choosing the web UI to load the table. So first step, can you see? You wanted to load the table. What is the first step? Choose your process. What's your process? Your warehouse. What is that? You have a lot of warehouses available in this account. You select your warehouse. What is the one you created? This is the one you created, right? Warehouse sales D1. It's in the drop down. Okay. Remember, compute warehouse is a default warehouse. How you have default DB, how you have a default schema, you will have a default warehouse also. That is compute warehouse. You can use compute warehouse also. But I don't want to use the default concepts. That's why I'm choosing the warehouse. So next step, click next. Select a file. You need to choose a file location, right? Where is my file? My file is in my local. So this is my local, and in the text file section, I have this file. Okay, I have browsed the file. Okay, can you see? This is a file I have browsed, and 87B is the size of the file. This is the time. Okay, next. See the file format, because you are loading the file, right? It is asking you the file format. So already there is only one file format in this schema so far. There is a comma separated. Correct. And click on next. Okay, here you need to understand how to choose this radio button. There are 4 options available, right? What should the load to do if it encounters error while parsing? First, let us understand what is parsing. Parsing is nothing but 2 steps. What are you doing, guys? You are loading this table. Customer number, first name, last name, zip. This is your Snowflake, right? And you got these data from the file. Customer number, first name, last name, zip. So what's our data? Our data is, like, say, first number is 1, first name is X, say last name is Y, this zip is, this is a zip. Okay. What's the data type? The customer number is number. Correct. It's a string. Again, it's string. It's number. So parsing is a process. It will apply for parsing is nothing but is a method of validating the data type and number of columns. Okay, those are the 2 steps. So when the parsing will apply, by the time when data is really getting loaded. So this is a record, right? And also remember, not only the Snowflake, any ETL tool in the market, it will process a record at a time. So you have 2 records here, for example. So you have 2 records here, right? So Snowflake will process only 1 record at a time. It will read a record from the source, in this case file, and it will validate against its data type. So right, first column, customer number match, second column match, 4 columns are matched. And as a part of parsing, it will validate the data set. So first 1 will be taken. It will be validated against the number. Yeah, passed. So 2 will be taken. Second column, X, string passed, Y, string passed. This is the number and this is also number passed. If you use like this. So zip is a number in the table, but you are getting the string data. So it will be a parsing error. So during that time, while parsing, error while parsing, if you get a error while parsing means if number of columns are not matched, if data is not as per the data type format, what do you do? Don't load. You are saying that don't load this file at all. Okay. And one more option is, say first record is passed and second record is failed because the data is like this, it's failed. What are you doing? Stop loading and roll back return. So you start load it, don't worry. But in the mid of the process, if you get any error, so roll back entire data. So and display the error you are asking. And what is saying, don't load the data at all. Okay. And you can put, this is don't load any data in the file if error count exists. You can put some threshold. When you put 5 here, okay, you are okay to load the 5 errors. Till 5th error, you will be fine. After 5 errors, don't load. You are giving some threshold. Okay. And what is the next option? Continue loading valid data from a file. So though there are errors, load it. Don't load in case of error. So you are in the load, stop and load till 5 errors and load with the errors. These are the options available. Out of this, I'm choosing this option. So stop load and return the error. This is the, it's all, I cannot say that, okay, it's all depend on the requirement and it's all depend upon the discussion with your team members, okay, with your client, okay. So in this case, I am choosing the option stop load and give me the error. There is any error, give it back to me. I'm saying that. Okay, so this is what you selected a warehouse and you selected your file format and you selected your file location and you are selecting this option. See, and one more observation is, remember guys, if you are from any background, non-technical, technical, non-warehouse or warehouse, only requirement is observation. Just observe. If you observe the tool, it will take, it's like a board for you. Okay, so it will ride you if you observe it. Once you stop observing, you will lose the link. I'm sure that you will use the link and it will be looking like a different language movie for you. Okay, so when you are loading it, you are filling a form. Actually, you are doing something on the web UI. Your Snowflake will create a queries in the background for you. See, this query I have not written, right? Snowflake is building for you. So put file, copy file. These are the queries. Okay, Snowflake is automatically creating a query for you. So that is the beauty of the tool. Okay, so though you are not from query background, just click on show SQL. It will help you to give the SQL. Definitely that will help you. So all are completed. Warehouse selected, file location selected, format selected, and parsing option selected. Just load it. See, load completed. How many rows? 3 rows parsed successfully. 3 rows loaded. Okay, parsing completed means error validation completed and column validation completed, data type validation completed. So finally 3 records loaded. Let me go and check here. So I have already created a table, right? I'm checking the data. Select star from this customer. Expectation is 3 records. See, 3 records are loaded. Right? So can you let me cross check the data as well. So first record 101 John alive. This is the case. Okay. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll introduce one error in the file. This is not a file, right? zip is a number, but there is a data of characters in this one. Let us see how it will work. Again, go to databases, go to tables, load the table and select your warehouse. Okay, next, browse the file location. Now the file has error and next, so select your file format. Next, select your option of the loading. So I'm asking the error to be returned. It's giving that. Clearly see the error, read the error, unable to copy the files. What is the problem? Numeric value 11 cross 111 is not recognized. So if you would like to continue loading, it is saying it's not recognized because parsing is failed. Okay, so still you want to load, you can continue. That's what it is saying. It's up to you. This is the error I am looking. When there is a problem in my file, I wanted to see this error. This error is displayed because my parsing option is like that. Okay. Now let me go back and correct the file now. See, it has clearly give you the data element also, correct? 11 cross that one, correct? So see how good Snowflake is. You have to feel it, okay? How good the Snowflake is giving the error. Okay, so this is about a loading a file. And what are the observations? What you observed so far? Observations are, what are the observation? So first observation is parsing is done by Snowflake. That is the first observation. The second observation, very important observation, is data is encrypted during the load time. What is the second observation? Data is loaded into AWS cloud. Correct, because you are using AWS, right? This is your AWS. Very basic points, guys. I'm not creating any complexity for you. So data is loaded into the AWS cloud. Used a XML warehouse. Why I'm emphasizing XML warehouse means depend upon your cloud and depend upon your warehouse only, you will be charged. So these are all linked to your price and budget. Okay. So what is the meaning of second point? What is the size of the customer is 1 KB. So when you are loading, it's a 87 KB. But remember, whenever your data is coming and loading and placing into your cloud, your data will be compressed, guys. Okay, really speaking, it is not 87 KB. Or as you are seeing here, it's a 1 KB, right? Really, when it is going to the Snowflake, it's not 1 KB. It's a less than 1 KB. I'm sure that it would be almost half of the 1 KB. Okay, you cannot see actually. But there is a background algorithm running automatically for the data encryption, and data will be loaded. When data is encrypted and loaded, you will be paying for the encrypted data. So don't think that you are paying for the 1 KB data storage. You will be paying for the encrypted data storage. So that is very important. So data, so that user will be charged for encrypted data. Example, file size is 1 TB. After encryption, I'm sure that, so it would be, after encryption, it would be, there are some spelling mistakes, please bear me, it would be 500 GB. Let me go with the 800 GB. So pay is for 800 GB. Remember, this is not an easy concept, guys. So Snowflake is offering so many things for you. So it's like, as I told you in the demo classes, it's like a fridge. It's a completely filled fridge. Okay, it's all your responsibility to make use of it. Okay, it's like, you know, might have seen the Big Boss, right? It's like a Big Boss house. So you have cart ready, fridges ready, accommodation ready, everything ready. It's your intelligence to make use of the resources. That's it. See, you are not doing the encryption. You wanted to buy a encryption algorithm. It will be very, very chargeable. Okay, and see, you want to, today your data is 3 records. Tomorrow it would be 100 records. You can create one more warehouse and you use. Correct. Say, I believe that how long it took to load the data. See the query history. So it took 79 milliseconds to load it. Okay, I'm not happy with my warehouse created. I wanted to use a different warehouse. Use it. How many warehouses you have? You have this warehouse. This is a one more warehouse. Okay, what is this warehouse? Let us see. Warehouses xlogi. This warehouse is of what size? X small size. You can create, you can edit actually. I believe you are with me. So this is my small warehouse. Warehouse logi is my small warehouse. I am not happy with my X small. I wanted to load the table with small warehouse. Yes, you can load. So go to label, load the table and select this. And this is what usually will happen in the real time. Okay, depend upon your data size, you choose your warehouse. It's loaded. Correct. Here I'll choose my warehouse to run the query also. What is my warehouse? This is the warehouse I'm using to run the query. So you can run the query like this. 93 milliseconds only. Last time you have seen, right? So 127 milliseconds. Now the query is displayed in 93 milliseconds because I've taken a big size, because your processing is in your hand. Okay, you want to run query faster, you can run query faster. You want to run slower, you can run. But the charges will be different from small to X small. Okay, but you are getting time. So if you see all these things from the top of the umbrella, it's a centralized management. Okay, you are sitting on top of umbrella and you wanted to go to which wing, you can go, no problem. That is called as a centralized management. Okay, so anytime you can easily switch. Snowflake is offering you that. So your encryption data is encrypted. That is also Snowflake offering you. In this way, in the entire tool discussion, we are leveraging the existing capabilities. That's it. It's already a lot of things are ready-made. It's our intelligence to use it. So just a small story behind it. Right, guys? So in the observations or in the database creation or in this hands-on activity, do you have any doubt? So far, we have loaded from local drive. Upcoming classes, we keep a file in cloud and we load it. Yeah, please. Yeah. Any questions from anybody?
Yes, sir. How we can find the error?
So you can have a history table. Find the error means Where could you please
The file
elaborate?
is encrypted as we enter the some values and upload that file.
Yeah, it has displayed you that, right? So that data also, let me load one more time. So this is my error file. Say this is the data, right? There is a problem in this data, correct? So zip is number in the DB, but data is wrong. So load this table and select a warehouse. So you can select any warehouse. So next, select files, select this file, open. So next, so this and next. Here I have taken that this option. Okay. So if there is any error, give me the error. I'm asking the Snowflake. Can you see this error? Numeric value. This
Okay.
value is not recognized in the file. So because we have made a wrong in this data, right?
And how we'll get the data? It's in a Excel format or what? How
In
will
this case, Snowflake will recognize Excel files, CSV files, JSON, everything. It's all depend upon your organization. This time they have given the CSV file for us. So who will get the data means these are the people available in the system. Okay. See, I'm taking 3 people, A, B, C. This A is a data provider. Okay. B is a warehouse builder. Data warehouse builder. C is a stakeholder, client or stakeholder, you can say. Okay. So say at particular point of time, say at 1 a.m. daily, end of the business, he will give a file to you. He will load a file. And he will generate reports from the file. If your question is on the activity, if your question is on how do you get a file, what are the workaround happened in the computer system in the project is like this. Is this your
Yes.
question, Andra? Yeah. So data provider will give you a file. I told you, no. So you are acting like a mediator. That's it. You will take a file from left hand and use a Snowflake and give it to the third person. That's it. So you will be acting like a data loader only. You are not application developer, right? You are not a data producer. Somebody will give a data and you will load it, but you will be instructed. Okay, you will get a data in a CSV file only at 1 o'clock.
Okay. In the instructions, what we mentioned, it will be we need to load it.
Yeah,
right?
as per the instructions only, you should get a file. Otherwise, that would be a functional bug.
Okay.
I have one question on this.
Yeah, please, Ganesh.
So suppose I wrote this code and I scheduled every day, right?
Okay.
And one fine day, some error came.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I want to capture that error in the table and send it back to the
Okay.
upstream.
Okay.
Do you have that kind of facility?
Yeah. That's your framework, right? So what's your framework is saying? You wanted to build a separate error table, or you wanted to send the error to your file and you want to send it to the source team, right? So for that, you can use this history tab. When you see this history tab is there, okay, from the history tab, this history tab is in the form of what is our database? Our database is sales ST, right? You have an information schema. In the information schema, you have one table, load history table. Select star from load history. This history table, this table will hold all your errors, guys. Okay. So this table along with some other tables. So schema test file name. See, there is a file name for today's thing. There is a file name. This is a location of the file. This file will hold all your execution details. Means this history. Okay. So you will pick a particular query and you will pick an error. And you see the status is wrong. Nothing but this is an error. You can pick this record and you put it in your table and you give it to the source. So overall, the history tab and the load history table will help you to achieve your activity. Yeah, am I answering you?
Yeah, so at runtime, we need to get the query ID you were saying. And based
Exactly.
on
So
that,
at runtime,
I choose the
runtime
details.
automatic pickup, you have to build your framework to do the automation. So that framework will take a help of this table. Your question is 1,000 feet height question, Ganesh. Really. So to break it down, so this is a cue point for you, helping point for you.
Okay.
Okay.
And can we read multi-character separator?
Multi-character separator means
Like
comma.
suppose
comma.
we have comma, right? I have 3 comma as separator.
It should be like this, right? No. We have no multi-character separator because when you have 3 commas, nothing but it's speaking about 3 columns, right? You are not, you cannot violate a basic definition of the file.
3 comma is my separator between the
3
columns.
comma is my separator.
Like in my project, right? I get tilde dollar is my separator. How can I read that in Snowflake?
We have no such facility in Snowflake.
Okay.
What do you need to do, right? For any such kind of the cases, not only in Snowflake, you write your shell program or a batch program, write a separate program to remove the extra commas and load it. Because logically speaking, so what you are saying, 10 comma comma comma, 10 comma
So
comma is nothing
usually,
but
yeah, what happens like in data we can have comma, right? So we don't prefer comma as a
data. You
separator.
see, if you have a data,
Sometimes pipe also comes in the data. So
exactly.
we don't use comma and pipe. So we use like tilde at the rate of tilde. That's a separator.
I got your problem. In that case, definitely your data might be in a double quotes. If there is no double quotes, then that is a file issue. Am I right, Ganesh? So your data is in double quotes or no quotes?
No quotes, because where a separator is different.
Then you have to write because that will be considered as a violation of the file format. In Snowflake, we have no such facility to accommodate that. So to help you build a separate shell program, so whenever you see consecutive commas, better delete that. If it is a part of the data, how do you handle? Because it's all a file operation, right? Because you are saying to the Snowflake that, hey Snowflake, this is a file, you have to understand the file like this only. Correct. But handling the multiple characters during the load time, multiple separators during the load time is not available, Ganesh, in the Snowflake.
So whatever we see in the UI, that's what we can have only, right? We cannot customize that.
You cannot customize that. You want to customize, write a separate shell program or batch program, depend upon your operating.
Yeah, that's always
Yeah, that's
there.
anyways, you know. That you know already. Yeah. All right. Any other questions, please? Yeah, Purna. I cannot hear you, Purna. Would you like to ask any question? Right, guys. So, and one more prerequisite is all of you please enroll the AWS account. Okay, you can go with Google and very easy. AWS free account. AWS free tier account. Sign up AWS free tier account. Here you need to activate your AWS free tier account. At the end of the day, so you will be get into the AWS management console. You will get a URL to your mail ID like this. So console.region.console.aws.amazon.com. You get that mail ID. Sorry, you get this URL to your mail ID. So login using your username and the captcha. It's like Amazon Prime login only. Okay, you should be able to see this AWS management console. You should be in this location. So in this location, we have S3 bucket. In the S3 bucket, we keep a file and we load it into the Snowflake in the tomorrow's class. And also one more request is make sure that you have a credit card ready with you. So to get into this AWS account, you have to register your credit card, but amount will not be deducted. Don't worry. Okay, so your but 1 rupee will be detected and it will be credited back to you within 3 to 4 days. But you should hold your credit card. If you are not using your credit card, you can use your anybody's credit card and make sure that this account. If you are facing any problem with credit cards and all, never hesitate to ask me. I'll pass my details to you for a practice purpose. But don't ask me if you have a credit card, guys. Okay. Yeah. So just take my help till that time you want to practice. Okay. Yeah. Any questions from anybody?
Yeah, actually, me and Yashwant want to talk to you personally.
Yeah, please, Ashwant. Yeah, we can. I mean, you are from Growing Tree Technologies, right?
No, I just called one lady yesterday.
Not sir.
Okay.
Sir, I am Mary.
Yeah. Hi, Mary.
Yeah, Yashwant is from my side.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoever is having some issues, please feel free to contact me.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
You can speak now.
I have one doubt. What is that small credits per hour? 1 credit per hour is there, right?
1 credit per hour is your dollar amount. I'll tell you the conversion cost. So yeah, so 1 credit is nothing. You will get a billing in the form of credits only. How you are getting the mobile data billing for 10 GB, 8 GB, right? Same way you will get a Snowflake billing in the form of credit. A credit is linked to a dollar. I'll tell you the conversion tomorrow. So that is the conversion.
And apart from that, another thing is we are giving where right? We are not in Oracle. We used to specify the number, right? Of the length, we will specify the length, right? But here we need not specify any length. Length is not required.
We can specify. If you, I'm taking string, right? For string, no need to mention any number. If you use varchar or varchar2, you will mention the number. It's up to you. Why I took a string, right? String will automatically adjust the backend size. So say I loaded only 100 characters, string will adjust automatically.
Okay. So automatically it will adjust because in Oracle, even though if you give a string, right, it will take a particular number of bytes.
Size. Yeah. You are using varchar2, right? In Oracle, yeah, you can prefer varchar2 also, not a problem.
Okay. So how does it differ? Here any space allocation will be there or no, even though if you don't give any, no.
Please repeat your question because I got some.
Actually, if you are giving some length, right, it will take based on the byte, it will allocate some memory location, right?
Correct.
In Snowflake, it won't.
No, it will be like that only. It's all depend on the data type. So when you use varchar, no changes. So varchar 10 fixed. Varchar 220, so usage will be fixed. So string is also working like that.
Okay.
It's all, I mean, organization, data organization in the cloud is completely depend on the data type only. Yeah, no changes in the data types, usage and all is same like other databases only. No extra here.
Another thing is you were saying that if the data has any error on the first record itself, we can do the job failure, right? Or otherwise we can give limit. We can give the limit of the error records, right?
Correct. Yeah.
In that case, suppose my question is, if suppose I have loaded the data based on the criteria that not to stop, I have given a limit to load the data. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. After a few days, my client came that there is an issue with the data. There are some errors in the data table.
Okay.
Okay. So in that case, if I have not, in that case, how to find that? What is the loading? After some days, it come right. After in that case, how can I find that?
No, usually in the working environment, you will not use web UI. To be get into the real hands-on, you will use queries only.
Okay. Oracle in Unix we are going to work, right?
Correct. You will use queries only. So you can customize the queries and you can parameterize all your changes.
So in that case, Unix environment, how can we do that? How can we limit the record?
Question. We will launch EC2 instance in the AWS. In the EC2 instance, we can integrate the Unix and Snowflake in one place.
Okay, no. I meant to say, how can we limit the error records?
It's, I mean, how can I limit that? Here the option is change your limit. That question is not, I mean,
No, for, syntax is this, right? On the down one, you are given the syntax. That is the syntax for loading.
I'm going to give you the syntax. You can customize as per your requirement.
Okay, sure.
Any other questions, guys? Arvind, I'm muting you because I'm getting some screaming around. Yeah. Any questions from anybody? Good, that guys. Thanks for listening the class today. So tomorrow class we will work with the cloud and Snowflake, and also we will work with the billing, because you are responsible for billing in the Snowflake. So somebody will definitely come back and ask you question, hey, why your billing is so high? It's your responsibility to make use of the resources. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for joining the session. We connect tomorrow.